Jai Hind, ladies and gentlemen. Being a tri-services think tank, it is very common for us to look at various dimensions of cyber warfare, which is expanding its scope as we are going ahead with emergence of various type of threats the world over. But while cyber warfare is taking a different dimension altogether, somewhere along the line, cyber crime is affecting in unprecedented manner each one of us individually also and organizationally also. In fact, Brigadier Tewari will be giving the facts and figures, but what I can recall is out of all the type of crimes which are happening in the country and abroad, the cyber crime has reached alarming proportions, and it is affecting us in everyday life, and of course organizations are also getting affected. With artificial intelligence having come in and that having plugged in with the cyber crime, the mammoth rise in its efficacy has come to the fore, and we need to be very cautious about this. I'm sure you would be getting a lot of educative videos, messages, and precautions which we all need to take for our individual well-being and for the organization well-being. But somewhere the people who commit crimes, they become so unsuspecting that it's very difficult, to really handle that challenge. At times, it reaches the level wherein you have to decide whether you're going for the kind of convenience which is being available to you because of automation or the digitalization, or you should be totally threatened by the emergence of cybercrime in your daily life. We could have been more fortunate than to have Brigadier Saurabh Tewari with us today, who is doing his PhD research on this particular subject. And bulk of research has already been done. And therefore, he will be actually elaborating these things, cybercrime, and as to how the AI is impacting that, and it will be learning. For me, it is very satisfying because I incidentally happen to be his PhD guide, and I hope whatever content he covers, there is some contribution from my end as well.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. For firstly, a big thanks to Dr. Manojit for his kind words of introduction. I want to place on record my sincere thanks to DG CENJOWS and Ashok for having given me this platform to share my views, and which is part of my research work also. You can start the slideshow, please. Yeah, I'll be talking today about the use of artificial intelligence in cybercrime and cybersecurity. So, as all of us know that AI is taking big leaps, and a lot of crimes are being committed today with the help of artificial intelligence. Just to name a few, called voice cloning happening, and deepfake videos are being made, and there are real life examples which I'll be quoting in my presentation. It is not certain. It's actually happening. Crimes are actually happening across the globe. Before that, just a brief introduction for the uninitiated. What is artificial intelligence? Basically, this is something that can mimic a human mind, can take cognitive decisions, it can apply fuzzy logic, it can apply subjectivity. So everything and anything that a human brain can do, that is what artificial intelligence is intended. So artificial intelligence first came about in, some people say 1950, but to my mind it was probably in 80s that the concept of machine learning came about, and people started talking of artificial neural networks, which is nothing but a replication of the neural network which is in our brain onto computer machines to bring in all these aspects of cognitive thinking and subjective decision and applying fuzzy logic and learning from the past experiences. It is called self-learning. Thereafter, then it got further improved to something called deep learning, which came about in the beginning of this century around the year 2000, which was one step ahead, and where the machine actually was expected to then start behaving like more or less like a human brain. Then there was a long period, another 20. So from 1980 to 20 years to come to machine learning to deep learning. Then another 20 years, sometime in 2020. The generative AI, ChatGPT, I'm sure everyone has heard, which is a tool we all of us are using extensively. It's based on concept of generative AI. And now another 2 years down the line in 22 or 21 sometime, something called GAN, generative adversarial networks came about. And GAN is incidentally the technology behind the things like voice cloning and deepfake video creation. So artificial intelligence, this is the complete roadmap, and today we are in the GAN era, and artificial intelligence needs very, very high, level of compute power. Normal computers cannot cope up with the kind of processing that the artificial intelligence needs. So probably there's a link up in times to come. The quantum computing is going to come and merge, and help the artificial intelligence processors to work faster. There's already something called the GPU and TPU, the graphical processing units and the tensor processing units. GPUs very recently, DeepSeek was in news. All of you, it was a disturbing news for everyone, including the big like Nvidia. Nvidia is the global, lead in the manufacturing of GPUs. So their stocks fell down heavily, and what not happened? China created some disturbances. So these GPUs, just to give you an idea, what is a GPU? GPU consists of about 80 billion transistors. A normal CPU in computers comprises of few millions of transistors. This is 80 billion. And if we talk of quantum computing chip, it will comprise of few billions of GPU itself. But quantum computing is not yet, commercialized, and it's not reached the scales that we would like to. But there is times to come, it will happen, and thereafter AI applications are going to take a quantum. So with that as the background, in fact, today morning only I was reading I'm part of various groups on technology. So one of them gave an article that the Microsoft company has hit upon a new technology for making the quantum computing, realizing quantum computing in scales and maturing the technology. And they are saying another year or so they'll be able to produce it. So probably next year we will be talking of quantum computing chips actually being replacing the GPUs. Okay, so AI technologies I have already spoken about, things like the artificial neural networks, the GPUs, and machine learning, deep learning, and then migrating to there's something called as large language models, LLMs, wherein basically you have a very large database of language. It is used in things like chatbot when you are doing a real-time conversation. Then another layer is called natural language processing, which is like voice to text conversion. And then when you use Alexa, Siri, basically using NLP kind of thing, and it's able to communicate in real time in voice mode, not just text mode. ChatGPT is text mode kind of thing. So all these technologies are coming. And latest is, of course, I told like generative adversarial networks. So this is the whole background of AI and the history of AI. So what are the typical users? Some of them I've already covered. Work as a human assistant like Alexa, Siri. Targeted marketing. You click on something on YouTube or you do something on Amazon, and you will get flooded with similar kind of products or connected products. That is targeted marketing, and the backend some AI tools are checking out your behavior. This is another term for this called Internet of Behaviors, where someone is tracking your behavior, where do you visit, what do you like to eat, what kind of clothes you like to wear, and then through advertisements and that sort of. That is targeted. Healthcare, people are already using artificial intelligence to study the MRIs and the CT scans and to be able to predict that this person is going to, maybe he will suffer from skin cancer 3 years from now. That kind of predictive technology is there. Financial investment, a lot of companies are using AI tools to predict the future of financial companies or predict the future of the stock market by learning from the past trends of the stock market or a particular company. ChatGPT, all of us know, autonomous weapon system more applicable in the military zone. There are drones people are talking where you got rifle mounted on top of that, or unmanned combat aerial vehicle systems are also there. We already have drones, and the higher version of that equipped with AI is the UCAV, unmanned combat aerial vehicles, where the aircraft will fly and even take a decision to fire a missile at an enemy target. Cybercrime, cybersecurity, of course, we are going to be discussing in detail. This is the main focus of my talk today. And as per a Deloitte study I read in a paper, it's going to be touching about 16 trillion business by 2030, another 5 years. So AI in cybercrime. So first one we'll talk about, a very popular cybercrime which is happening nowadays is deepfake. Some very popular examples in the recent past, last 1 year, 1.5 years, there was a video of Elon Musk promoting a new cryptocurrency called BitPX. And a lot of people invested into it. It was a fake video of Elon Musk, and a lot of people invested into that. And of course, they suffered losses because there was no such thing. Then there was another video of Donald Trump wherein he was during his election campaign times last year, where he was asking for people to make donations to his company for political election fighting in cryptocurrency. Then there was a very famous case of, I think, June last year, where a British company called Arup, the CEO of that company and 2-3 more employees, 4-5 of them, the criminal made deepfake videos of about 4 to 5 people of that company, including the CEO. And then all of them got into a video conference with the account department head of that company. It's called Arup. It's an engineering company. And that account department had ended up transferring 15 or I think $25 million into a account. These are real life examples I'm giving you. So just to convey the point that this is not theory that we are talking. This is actually happening. What is happening in digital arrest is probably not deepfake. They are playing on psychology. So generative adversarial network, like I said earlier, this is the technology behind producing deepfake videos and cloned voice. There are already commercial tools like WaveNet. I mentioned one tool here. Now, this technology basically comprises of a main tool called generator and another called discriminator. So generator will have some input, like you'll have my photographs, my video, my sample voice. Then it will try to create a fake video of mine with a doctored speech and with the exact syncing of lips and etc. And then this is given to the second module called discriminator. Discriminator will try to, whatever the sample, my original sample, try to compare with that and give a feedback to the generator that no, you are missing these points. So generator will again work. So it's a feedback mechanism, 10, 20, 50, 100 iterations, then the final product is it. I'll show you some examples of the final product. There was a study done by Deloitte in 2024 which says the success rate of deepfake videos is 39%, which is almost higher. So 60% of people were able to detect that this is a fake, but 39% of people were not able to. Losses due to deepfake, it's just deepfake technology, are estimated to be 40 billion by another 2 years or so. This is part of what Deloitte study. Can you click on that first hyperlink? I'll just show you a video.
As cameras capture real time video ring photos like these swirled around social media, showing the former president struggling with authorities, at times appearing to run away from them, even pose for a mugshot. They may look real, but none of them are.
You can click.
This information, I think imagery is going to be really dangerous if there are no regulation in the future.
Let's click on second one. So this is the original, and right side is the deepfake video. How Alan was.
This is deepfake example. What is it took around 72 hours to create this example from scratch using extremely.
Yeah, that's it. I have a few more, but I think I've driven across the point that this is for real, and all of us are going to be facing this someday. Clone voice, again using GAN technology. Duplex 16 it's a Google tool. Actually. You can produce clone voice. There have been so many crimes using clone voice. Social engineering, basically the use of artificial intelligence. There are two tools called Worm GPT and Fraud GPT. This is basically all of you. I'm sure you are aware of social engineering, phishing, etc. I'm sure you would heard. You get fake emails from someone who appears to be credible, and they ask you to click on some link, and then your laptop or mobile gets hacked, and you end up revealing all your. Or he will put a Trojan in your mobile and take control of it. Those kind of things are social engineering. There are various versions of smishing and phishing and so many things. I'll not get into that, but where AI fits in here is like these two tools are actually AI tools too. You are able to produce phishing emails by analyzing the personality of the target, what are his likes, dislikes, where I can exploit him, and how I can exploit him. So the language of the email is accordingly worded. So if it is an Indian person, there will be a difference to the English language, that we use British English. Whereas in America, it's US, so it is COLOR or COLOUR. Those kind of differentiations are made based on the demography of that person or even his personal trait. Someone likes English. You know what is English, I'm sure. So the email may come to you in English also. All that thing will be done by artificial intelligence. So this is basically on social engineering. Yeah. So these are just I've taken from these. All these examples are last 1 year. Because GAN has come about in 2022 only, actually, which is enabling clone voice and deepfake videos. So in this case, basically, the child's voice was cloned, and the person was made to hear कि हमने तुम्हारे बच्चे को kidnap कर लिया और ये सुनो उसकी आवाज. तो बच्चा रोते हुए बोल रहा है कि पापा मैं kidnap हो गया. तो उन्होंने 50,000 is of course peanuts when you see the slides further. This is that deepfake example of Elon Musk where he was promoting BitVX cryptocurrency. And one person has even lost, you see this figure here, $690,000, one single person. He invested this much of money. And of course, on top of it. This is the British company Arup example that I was telling you. You can, it's all available on the net and open domain. So these are real life examples. $25 million was the CFO and he got $25 million. Just imagine the amount of. This is another deepfake news. Deepfake phishing was what I said earlier explained when you create emails, phishing emails by using artificial intelligence. So a new term has come about called deepfake phishing. And what is the advantage of AI also is that you can produce mails in hundreds and thousands actually, bulk emails, which if human being has to do will take a lot of time to write each and every mail. So here with AI automated tools, you can produce thousands of mail and send it to 1,000 different ways. ChatGPT, of course. So there is a new term now coined called business email compromise, BEC. Which is basically that you send a phishing email and then you compromise whatever you want to. You want to compromise his device, or you want to compromise the system, or the person himself, or get into ingress into the company network, enterprise. Asia, interestingly, is emerging as the hub for AI-based and deepfake-based cybercrimes. There was again in that same study report of Deloitte I was studying that from 22 to 23, the cybercrime has risen by 1,500%, and majority of it coming from Asian countries. And about 50% of these crimes are coming from Vietnam and Japan separately. This is what the study says. And this digital arrest thing, which is going very rampant nowadays, I'm sure some of you know, there is a complete cyber slave industry now opened up in countries like Cambodia. Indians are being lured there in the name of jobs and all IT jobs, and then their passports are confiscated like it was happening in Middle East for the laborers and all. And then they are forced to this kind of work. So all these digital arrest things which are coming. Sometime back, if you remember, there's the owner of Vardhman Textile Mills, Mr. O.P., forgetting the name. He ended up transferring 7 crores on a digital arrest video in which the Chief Justice of India, then Chandrachud, he was also sitting in that video. So probably deepfake was behind जो भी कोई बैठा था वो ड्रेस पहन के चीफ जस्टिस की उसका फेस पे उन्होंने deepfake वो किया and Chandrachud himself there asking for money. उसने 7 crore transfer किया. Okay, some more uses of artificial intelligence, cybercrime. There are tools actually now. AI has become a service now. Actually, you pay for it and you buy it. There are tools like PassGuard, Hashcat, and all, which have got 27% success. So basically, you want to crack a password using brute force. Humanly, if you have to do, takes so much of time. AES 256 is the very commonly used encryption in the internet today. If you use a normal computer, it will take some septillion of years to try out those many number of combinations. But with quantum computing and combined with AI, people are saying it will be done in 5 minutes. The whole new approach to encryption will have to be now. There is another chapter opening up in the ICT industry. People are already actively talking about last 1 year or so that if quantum computing matures to industrial scale, then all these encryptions will fail because they'll be broken in 5 minutes. So a whole new approach to encryption on the internet will have to be thought about. No code AI. Now this is AI getting commoditized. So you don't have any technical knowledge of coding. You have some tools. You tell the tool, I want to do this. He'll prepare a code at the backend for you and give you the ASC. So AI as a service. We have already hearing about cloud as a service and platform as a service and infrastructure. Now AI is getting offered as a service. Adversarial attacks, a very interesting concept where AI, the repository of AI, the strength of the AI lies in the data that you feed to it, or the whatever data it collects on its own also, and whatever you feed. Adversarial attack means that you slowly and very incrementally, in a very, very slow manner, you start poisoning that data. If you start poisoning the data in a very incremental manner, then the results that AI will throw will change. It may lead to things like gender bias, racial bias, gender bias, and so many other things, which will open another new front of ethical issues and legal issues. So that is adversarial attack. In the traditional IT crime, there was something called salami slicing. Salami slicing is you have access to my bank account, but every day you are just taking 2 rupees from that, and you keep taking it for years. मेरे को पता भी नहीं लगेगा, and slowly you will build up your pity. So this is like a salami slicing in the AI domain. Polymorphic malware. So all of us use antivirus. I don't know how many of you are using. I use antivirus even on my mobile phone more than 10 years now, and my phone, my camera is also blanked out. I put a tape on this. So anyway, coming back to polymorphic is malwares which can change themselves. They will enter a machine, they will see what kind of antivirus is there. Okay, not an antivirus, this version. It can detect this by this strings and all. How does the antivirus work? It will detect various these strings of ones and zeros. If there is a match, it will declare it as a malware. It will know what this tool can detect, and if that particular kind of string is there within me, I will change myself. मैं अपना वो string ही change कर दूंगा, but without compromising the end objective for which I have been designed. So that is called intelligent polymorphic analysis. Vulnerability search, of course, in the IT and telecom networks, we have something. Since I'm more than 30 years I've spent in IT and telecom, we do something called as vulnerability assessment and penetration testing of network. Basically, it is kind of ethical hacking of our own network to know the vulnerabilities. So that's a manual process. So this is vulnerability search using AI. So this whole process can be automated. So I finished there the first part of. There may be so many other, it's only limited by our imagination and the imagination of the criminals as to what all use can AI be put to. Maybe in times to come we have so many new crimes also coming up. So the counter of it, this as a technology, AI can very well be used for securing our network, securing our devices also as a counter to how AI can be used in cybercrime. Okay, so some of the use cases are as follows. So threat intelligence basically means that if you have the artificial intelligence in your network, can collect information not only generally in traditional networks, we've got something called firewall. Some of you from IT background maybe have never heard of this. So firewall will detect, do everything, but it does not have the external inputs. For example, what is happening on the social media? For example, is a distributed denial of service attack building up maybe 100 hops away from me, which is targeted at me. What is available in the open source? Open source intelligence. So artificial intelligence platform is going to gather all these inputs. What is the network behavior? How the network elements are behaving? Is there an abnormal behavior on a particular port of a particular device? Is there an abnormal behavior from user perspective? So all that, it is able to fuse all that and derive some intelligent conclusion. So if there is an unusual behavior from an employee, that means it is indicating towards an insider threat in a network. Some person has got access and it's not an external threat. Offensive security we already discussed, which is automated vulnerability assessment and pen test of my network. Automated incident response. So when an attack has happened on my network, what is the first thing that a CISO of any company would like to do? In this procedures, CISO is Cyber Information Security Officer of any company. All companies today have got CISO. It's a government mandate. So what is the first thing that you want to do? First thing you want to do is you want to isolate the devices which are not yet affected and keep it away from those which are affected and contain the damage. So this kind of things can be automated using AI tools. If an attack has happened, it quickly analyzes that, okay, these 5 machines are affected. It will logically disconnect them from the rest of the network so that the threat does not proliferate into balance of my network. It will automatically raise an email to the cybersecurity administrator or and to all concerned. So this kind of processes can be automated. Behavior analysis, insider threats, I already discussed. And there is something called as APT. APT is like another form of, that's salami slicing that I was talking about. APT is advanced persistent threats, where someone comes, installs a malware in your machine, and he just sits there. He doesn't want to disturb your machine. He doesn't want to even let you know that I'm sitting here. He silently sit and keep taking information from your computer and keep passing on to its master wherever that machine is. It keeps stealing the information. It will not reveal itself because in intelligence also there are you want to gain access to some source and then keep taking or information, or you want to destroy that source. APT is you just want to, for years together, you want to keep just extracting information very silently in small bits and then build up the larger picture at the back end. So normal tools cannot detect APT kind of threat. Whereas artificial intelligence can do, because it has got the intelligence to be able to collate all the historical data and then try to build up the larger. DDoS is distributed denial of service attack. So then what happens is that you get a lot of requests for some traffic, and when you respond to that, you get overloaded and you get choked and jammed and all. While this threat is building up, this threat will build up to you from multiple sources across the globe. Sources means one computer here, one laptop here, one mobile phone, which are requesting one particular target machine. Humanly or the current tools of firewalls, it's not possible to detect it so much in advance. But with AI, it can reach out geographically in the network and try to correlate with, okay, these 1,000 points are working in synchronization with each other, probably to target my machine or my network. So it can do a predictive kind of threat analysis and even suggest to the cybersecurity officer of that organization that this threat is going to come, likely to build up in next 3 days, and this is the counter to it. Bot detection, again, similar kind of thing. Malware detection, even antivirus does it, but if you have AI-based tool, then it will do it in a much better manner. So while on one side we are talking of AI being used for producing polymorphic malwares, which I talked earlier, which can modify themselves. You can use the AI as a counter to that itself and detect the polymorphic malware. So AI is a double-edged sword, depending upon who's using it. The same technology which is being used to create a deepfake, you can use the same AI to detect a deepfake, which is humanly may not be possible for detect. So deepfake detection, clone bot detection, social engineering, and spam detection. So it is both ways one can utilize. More use cases as AI becomes more mature, the technologies like GAN, etc., become more mature. Quantum computing, which is in, then the times, the time cycle of AI processing will be even further improved. But today AI is based on GPUs. Tomorrow it might be, if it is based on quantum computing chips, which is talking of some million time of processing power, then compared to GPUs, then we are talking about, I don't think we can even imagine that scenario what's going to happen only time. So while I have spoken of all this, what are the challenges in AI adoption? So first, of course, is AI is a very hazy domain. Only very few niche people know how AI actually works. So there's a lot of subjectivity, a lot of cognitive processing, a lot of forward thinking, if I may call it, a lot of subjectivity. In artificial neural network, there is a whole layer which takes care of the subjectivity, which is basically available with human beings. We have 5 inputs. For a computer machine, he needs 10 inputs to give you an exact answer. But human beings, we have 5 inputs, we don't have 3, we assume, and then take a decision in our mind. That is called cognitive. Very few people are there available across the globe who have got hardcore, and all those who are available, they are being kept like cyber slave by their respective organizations because they don't want that expertise to go out, and because there's so much of business financial implications. The recent example is what DeepSeek has done to NVIDIA shares. So others is other area. So then, because of limited expertise, then things like adversarial attack where the data is getting poisoned, they are biased outputs of the AI, it will lead to loss of trust in the tools. Inaccurate data sets will obviously lead to wrong results by the AI or wrong recommendations by the AI, which I spoke earlier when data poisoning is happening. Data volumes and high compute, these are infrastructure challenges that for AI to become more and more accurate, the more data it has, the more accurate it will become. Simple as that. But small enterprise may not have the infrastructure to host such huge data. And even have some high computing, such high computing, everyone is not in a position to buy GPUs. It's a costly affair. And not just GPU. The cooling requirement of a GPU-based data center is 20, 30, 40, maybe 50 times more costlier than for a normal data center. So what do? Small enterprise will outsource data hosting and computing. The moment you outsource, there are security challenges. The agency to whom you have outsourced, what is the security parameter against all these AI threats? Are you sure of that? If not, your data may get corrupted, your data may get poisoned, you will get wrong results. All those, it's a vicious cycle. And of course, last but not the least is legal and ethical issues. So you generally write an essay using ChatGPT. So many youngsters are doing it today, including my daughter. So there are copyright issues involved there. There are legal issues and ethical issues. If AI gives some results which are gender biased or race biased, there are ethical issues. Legal issues will also be there, ethical issues are there. And so I think that's all I have to communicate, sir.